Forum for Autism is a parent support group to support families of children with autism. It was set up in the year 2002 under the Indian Trust Act 1950. Forum for Autism mainly aims at creating awareness about autism, empowering parents to advocate for rights of persons with autism. Forum for Autism is a parent body which runs two libraries in Kolaba and in Vashi with around 500 books. It also conducts parent training workshops, seminars, and talks. It has a database of parents and professionals and provides sponsorship to unaffording families. Forum for Autism participates in various activities. To name a few are Mumbai Marathon, conducted workshops for parents with young adults, celebration of World Disability Day at Malad Basti, and self-help skill workshop. Since the lockdown, Forum for Autism is continuing its work online. It has been conducting webinars on various topics like preparing to choose the boards, homeschooling, storytelling sessions, setting up presidential setup, to name a few. All the parents who are interested can check those webinars on YouTube. Chef Sanjeev Kapoor and commentator Harsha Bhogle are the cause ambassadors for Forum for Autism. Throughout the lockdown, FFA, that is Forum for Autism, along with ASK, that is Adult Support Kendra, is offering online individual counseling, family counseling, parent support, apart from various other services. To know more about these services, please contact Nicole Kapadia and Suhasini Sundaresan on the numbers mentioned. Join our journey. Be an active part of Forum for Autism. To know more, please call on the phone numbers on your screens. Thank you for your overwhelming response to our webinars. Forum for Autism requests you to donate generously so it helps in our future endeavors. All the donations are eligible for the tax exemption. Please follow us on social media for updates on workshops organized by Forum for Autism. Please follow our Facebook page, Forum for Autism. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our website www.forumforautism.org.
A very warm welcome to each one of you present here for today's webinar on emotional freedom technique, and also to the ones who will be watching this recording later. The focus of today's webinar is on mental health of parents and caregivers. We see that being a parent with a child with special needs is a constant struggle every day, meeting your own expectations, meeting societal pressures. And in the long run, it creates a lot of distress, physical, psychological. Hence, it's so important to take care of our mental health. And isn't it that socially we are conditioned to repress our negative emotions? But in order to heal, in order to accept, I think it's really important to identify and also accept all the emotion, positive as well as negative. And that's the exact reason we have with us a very special parent, Mrs. Sonal Sinha. A warm welcome to you, Sonal, and thank you for taking your time to be here. Sonal is based in Singapore. Sonal professionally is a computer engineer. She's qualified to be a computer engineer, but later on, she had to give up her career because after her twins were born, and especially after it was discovered that one of the childs was diagnosed with autism. So later, to throughout the journey of healing, Sonal came across EFT as a technique, and it really helped her to manage her own emotions and anxiety. And later on, she professionally took up the course, and now Sonal is certified EFT practitioner. So to introduce, EFT is emotional freedom technique. We will have Sonal to talk and explain us what it's all about. Before we start the webinar, a few notes. Parents, kindly keep a bottle of water alongside because Sonal will be doing some demo exercises which stirs up certain energies, and then we'll need water after that. So please keep a bottle of water near you. Also, if anybody has any questions, they can put in the Q&A section and the comments in the chat section. If anybody wishes to verbally express any of their concerns or experiences, you're free to click the icon of raise hand and we'll address it accordingly. So a warm welcome again, Sonal, and let's begin with our webinar.
Okay. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for that lovely introduction. Welcome, everybody. Today we are here for a seminar on emotional wellness. Basically, the seminar is on dealing with stress and how to have emotional wellness along with it. So I'll just begin with the presentation, actually. So yeah, freedom from stress with emotional wellness. I'll be talking about what causes stress. A lot of us deal with stress every day. And what are some of the techniques that we can use to deal with the stress that we come across on a day-to-day basis, or even, this kind of stress that we hold on for a longer period of time. Okay. So what is stress? Stress is by definition, stress is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension from adverse or demanding circumstances. Now, stress is, all of us face stress on a day-to-day basis. All of us go through it. Some stress is a good stress. Some stress is good stress in the sense that we have to go to work or we have to go to school and there's a deadline that we're supposed to meet. A sort of stress is built up in our body and system that helps us to achieve that goal on so-and-so time, so-and-so deadline. And when we achieve that particular goal, a short-term goal, we feel, a sense of achievement, or we are able to handle our day-to-day routine in a better way, right? So that is a good stress. When does stress start affecting you? When it becomes chronic, when you hold it onto your body, and when you think, there is certain thing that you're supposed to achieve and you were not able to, then it constantly keeps triggering you inside. So that kind of stress generally ends up, in adverse behavioral patterns, or even in some or the other sort of disease, it gets manifested into our body. Yeah. So some symptoms of stress would be, overeating, binge eating. Sometimes you wouldn't want to meet anybody, you would want to stay alone. Sometimes you'd be constantly exhausted. You would want to work, you know what is to be done, but you're constantly exhausted. Other symptoms are putting on a lot of weight or losing a lot of weight. Sometimes you have digestive issues like irritable bowel syndromes or acidity, and sometimes depression. You don't know, what is the purpose of life. You are just sitting idle and you feel lost. So all of this happens when, these are some of the symptoms which most of us face when we hold on to stress. Some other reasons or symptoms of stress could be when we grow old, a lot of our features change. A lot of people are not able to deal with that too, and that also causes stress. Something as small as that also causes stress. Something like, putting a mask all the time, especially during COVID when we had to put it on all the time. And it kind of gets irritating. Is it up? Is it down? Why do we have to put it all the time? So that also is a very small thing, but that also creates stress. And with us, with parents who are parents of special need children, we constantly deal with these kind of stress. We are constantly, working on our children day in, day out, trying to achieve very short-term goals. And we see failures almost, every day. Our waiting period becomes really long. And so we are more susceptible to stress, I feel. In our time today, I'll try to cover the root causes of stress and how it manifests into illnesses. How can we reverse the negative effect of stress? And I'll teach some techniques of energy yoga that helps us release stress. And also I will talk about emotional freedom technique, which I use and which helps me in dealing with stress. And, I help others also to deal with stress. This is about me. I am, as mentioned by Samrudhi, I am a qualified computer engineer. And when I got married, I conceived after, I think, 3 years of marriage, and then I had twin babies. So my entire pregnancy was on bed rest. Then when I had twin children, I had absolutely no time for anything else. So I had to quit my job. And then by the time they turned 2, I thought I'll go back to work, but I couldn't, because we realized that one of the child is on the autism spectrum. So then the journey of therapies and everything began. And it was like a roller coaster ride for me. I couldn't handle anything at all. The other child, therapies, financially, it was taxing. Physically, it was very overwhelming. Emotionally, it was very overwhelming. I realized I needed help. So I realized I needed help, and I just came across EFT. I didn't know what it was. Where I used to take my child for therapies, the therapist over there, she used to practice EFT. So I went in and I just took sessions for me. And I realized, I could manage myself much better. I was in much better position to handle a lot of things. And more than that, I was in a better position to accept whatever was happening, whether it looked good or it did not look good. So that acceptance increased a lot. And then, I had to go every time to take a session from her. Then I decided that instead of going to her again and again, why not just learn it for my own self so that I can manage myself better. But during learning it for myself, I realized I could also, pick it up as a profession, and I could help other people who are in similar situation that I am. So now I got certified as a EFT practitioner, and I also help a lot of young parents or people who have gone through a lot of emotional trauma. They come to me for sessions, and I help them to feel relaxed and choose happiness. Moving ahead, 85% of the illnesses, as per research, is caused because of stress. And 90% of doctor visits are also because of stress. So when I say this, what actually happens is, why is 90% of doctor visit is related to stress? Because a lot of illnesses or diseases manifest because we hold on to the stress and we haven't addressed it. And also, leading causes of divorce, weight gain, obesity, and different kind of addiction, we all know, is also stress. Next is unresolved emotions. Emotional upsets. Unresolved emotions are, what are unresolved emotions? Unresolved emotions are emotions that we were not able to address. Sometimes we come across situations where we are not able to justify ourselves or not able to explain ourselves. I have examples like, say in an office space, your boss misinterpreted whatever you wanted to do or say. And the boss comes and, shouts at you or gives you a deadline. And you are not in a position to answer back. You're not in a position to even explain yourself. Maybe it was not your mistake at all. And that stays with you. That kind of emotion is an unresolved emotion. You were never able to express yourself. With us, with parents who have kids on the spectrum or special needs kids, we come across such situations very often, I feel, especially, when you're going in a park. Now, probably your child, ends up doing something which is not socially appropriate. And somebody might come and comment on you, or might even scold the child, or might scold you, or, question on your parenting and things like that. A lot of times we're not in a position to explain it back to them that, why your child was like this, behaved in a certain way, which was not socially appropriate. So I feel we are more susceptible to, holding on such emotions. We're not able to express ourselves, we're not able to explain ourselves, and we become victims of unresolved emotions. Similarly, suppressed emotions. They say if you have a lot of suppressed emotions, the risk of cancer increases, the risk of heart diseases increases. And it is similar to, I feel, unresolved emotions. Suppressed emotions is that you find it too difficult to express yourself, or you've not got a platform where you could go ahead and express yourself emotionally, because a lot of times socially we are told that, this is the way you should feel, this is the way you look positive, this is the way you look negative. And even if we are feeling bad, and socially probably it's considered that no big deal, you shouldn't be feeling bad, we tend to hold it on, we suppress it, that, I'm not supposed to feel bad, why am I feeling bad? But the fact is that you are feeling bad, so it turns into a suppressed emotion, right? So something similar is unexpressed anger. Now again, unexpressed anger. So I was discussing this with a friend yesterday. We are often told that you shouldn't get angry. Anger is not good. You shouldn't get angry. You should stop yourself from becoming angry. But what if, that's how you went out. But what if, you fall into a situation where anger is the only thing, right? And instead of addressing the anger, we just try to, stop it and curb it inside, that no, I'm not supposed to get angry, not supposed to get angry. It creates a lot of frustration. And sometimes you will notice that, you get angry at very unreasonable things because of it. Because so much of anger is held inside, I'm not supposed to get angry, not supposed to get angry. And you just don't find a place to express it or address your anger. And you end up, becoming volatile every now and then. So these are some of the kinds of emotions which, when you don't deal with it, when you don't address it, they turn into disease, or they become a bigger reason of stress. If there are any questions, you all can please put it on chat. And right now I will teach you something called as tantrum tapping. Now, tantrum tapping is a very easy and a very effective technique to deal with anger. And I use it with my children too. So anytime you're feeling really heavy, or, we spoke about unresolved emotions, we spoke about suppressed emotions and unresolved anger. This technique, tantrum tapping, it really helps you to deal with those kind of emotions. It will give you a quick relief, all right? So for tantrum tapping, there are 3 steps, okay? The first step would be, you make a gentle fist like this, and you locate this point here, which is under your collarbone. And there's a slight dent under the collarbone. You locate that point. So this is the first step. The second step would be tapping here on that dent and shouting out loud like Tarzan. Okay. Okay, I want all of you to do it with me. If you are watching me and if you want to experience this, please do it along with me. And the third step, the first was that we made a fist, we located the point which is under the collarbone. The second was shouting out and tapping, simultaneously on that point. And the third step is you bang your feet on the ground as if you're giving a full-blown tantrum. Okay, so I want you to do it with me. All right, 3, 2, 1, start. Okay, please put it in chat and let me know how you felt, and you can take a sip of water after doing this process. And if you've tried this with me, please let me know how you feel, because I really feel relaxed after doing this. Yeah, I think there is a question. Yeah, Samrudhi.
Well, that was very relieving, Sonal, because there are many a times I think I want to scream,
Okay,
and
this is where you should do this in a closed room or in a bathroom. Otherwise, otherwise people will think what's wrong, what's going on with this.
absolutely,
Yeah.
But it's very cathartic, I must say.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I'll just continue and we can discuss.
Yeah. So just a question: when you've done it with your children, have you given them a space where they are allowed to do this?
So my kids are like really young when I started this with them, and I would allow them to do it anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, but it depends on you how you prefer.
How comfortable you are, or
Yeah, if they and how comfortable are they? Like now, when my the other child who's almost 10 now. Now, if I ask him to do it, then he goes inside the room on his own. He doesn't want to do it. When they were little, they would do it anywhere. Now he wants to get into a room and then do it. Then, okay, I'm going, and that's how we do it. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just continue with the presentation.
yeah.
Yeah.
The question, would you like to address later? There's a question.
How to calm down and behave properly. So
basically, this is Aditya asking a question, and I think Aditya is a young adult. He wants to know like strategies. So Aditya's strategy, like the one which Sonal gave just now, is one of the strategies it will help you to calm yourself down when you're feeling very angry. And Sonal,
and I'll be sharing some more, exercises during the presentation. You can use any which calms you down, whichever suits you better. You can use those exercises. Okay?
Right. Thank you for your question, Aditya.
There's another question, I think. If the child is having issue with loud volume or screaming and she gets afraid, what to do? So you can actually take a call. If the child is not at all comfortable doing this, then maybe you can try some other exercises. This exercise, tantrum tapping with kids is effective, but when they are in the same, you're at the same energy level as they are, or they are at the same energy level as you are. When they want to, when they're really angry or they're crying, then you can do it. My son, when he has meltdowns, he wouldn't want to. He gets really cranky. He starts crying. Then I do this for him, even when he's crying, because that sound comes out. And then sometimes I ask him to tap his feet. If he's not in a mood, then okay. But if I do this, he feels calm even then. So you can take a call, how comfortable your child is. If the child is not at all comfortable, then you can try some other method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, with our children, it's more about who is in control of the sound. So, if the child himself is doing it, it might affect him less than hearing someone else doing it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll continue now. Yeah. So yeah, that was about tantrum tapping.
We will move on. Yeah.
There are a couple of more. Just give me 1 second. Something went wrong. So yeah, tantrum tapping, and the next emotion that really bothers us, or something that creates a lot of stress, is unforgiveness.
Sonal, before moving to the next one, I just want you to address this last question, which is related to temper tantrum tapping. So Shraddha is asking if tantrum tapping can be done to a child when the child is lying on bed and screaming, because you've given a certain position to do it.
So actually, you could probably just tap if the child is crying, right? But the third step, which is banging the feet on the ground, that won't be taken care of. And then you can see if the child calms down, then you can probably ask the child to get up and then try it out. And also, it's not necessary that you do it when the child is really angry or is at the stage of a meltdown. You can ask them to do it as an exercise, anytime during the day, maybe a fixed time, or when they are feeling overwhelmed, when they're a little cranky, irritated. So you need not wait for a meltdown to do this. Okay. When they are going through a real meltdown, then probably you can just find any calming technique and calm them down. This is more of like, releasing anger. A lot of times we store it inside, we don't know how to take it out, and sometimes we're just irritable for no reason. In those places, you can use this. And first use it for yourself. And then, if you want to do it with a child, then make it in a play that let's do it together. I'm also doing it with you. Even I'm angry, I understand I'm angry. Come on, let's do it together. You're also angry, I'm also angry. So then they're more open to, practice these ideas. Otherwise, they form it in their head that what is she making me do? Why is she making me do? And all of that. So yeah, I hope I answered the question.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. So I was talking about the next emotion, which is unforgiveness. Unforgiveness leads to diabetes, pain, and heart attack. Basically, a lot of these chronic diseases. So how can unforgiveness, create diseases, right? So unforgiveness is something that, you did bad to somebody, or somebody did something bad to you, and you're not able to forget that, right? Even if it's done and over, if you're not able to forget that, and you keep thinking about it again and again, and you keep repeating that entire incident in your head and again and again, that this happened, that person told me this, I told that person that. When you repeat the entire episode in your head over and over again, you are creating the same kind of emotional, experiences for yourself. Whatever you went through at that point of time, you are experiencing it over and over and over again in your head, which causes a stress for you and nobody else, to be really frank. And when your body is in so much of stress and tension or sadness because of whatever happened, you end up manifesting some of the other chronic diseases like diabetes, heart. So it is observed, research that, such people are less prone to forgiveness. Somebody who has diabetes or a heart issue, maybe, they hold on to things more. They don't know how to release and let go. And then that causes, that's a lot of stress, and which causes, such diseases to come in place. Before we move ahead, I wanted to teach you 3 to 4 exercises more, which are very simple exercises. And this, y'all can practice whenever during the day. Anytime you have a headache, you feel stressed out, or you just want to relax, you can try these exercises. They are very simple and it really gives you a very soothing feeling. Okay, it's called energy yoga, and it's taught to me by my teacher, Dr. Rangana Rupavi Chaudhary. She's taught me EFT too, and she's taught me these exercises as well. So I'm just sharing it with you. So the first exercise is called as crown pulling. All right. For crown pulling, you can put your thumb here where the ear begins, and you join your little finger right at the center of your eyebrow and the index finger where your hairline begins, and join all the other fingers like this. And you all can actually do this with me right now. You can pull the crown. You have to give firm pressure like this and pull your crown. And when pulling, till you come here, you have to breathe in. And then while going down, breathe out through your mouth. Okay. So your thumb is here. You're giving good pressure. Then the fingers, the first finger near the hairline, the last little finger in between of your eyebrows, and you pull your crown like this. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Come again. Pull your crown, breathe in, and breathe out. Again, bring your fingers in the center of your forehead. Pull and breathe in. And breathe out. One more time. Pull your forehead and breathe in. And breathe out. So this was crown pulling. And you can do it as long as you want to. The second exercise is something called as hair combing. All right. For that, you have to again, place your thumb where your ear starts and place all your fingertips at the starting of the hairline, right? Like this. And you have to take a deep breath in and give a firm pressure on your head. And reach here to the top of your head, and you breathe in till here. And as you go down, you breathe out. All right. You need to give very firm pressure with your fingers on your scalp. All right. So again, place your fingers and as though you're combing your hair with your fingers. Okay. Take a deep breath in and give a pressure and breathe in. And breathe out. Come again. Place your fingers here. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out. Breathe in again. And breathe out. Again, place your fingers at the hairline. Give firm pressure. Take a deep breath in. And when you reach the top of your head, push your fingers down and breathe out. So you all can try this whenever you feel like, and you all can do this every day. It really relaxes the hair. It really calms your body as well. Any questions on these exercises? If there are, please put them, because then I'm going to teach you one last energy yoga exercise. So this one is like you place your hands like this and imagine that all the stress, all the worries, all the tension which is there, which is going on in your head, just imagine that it has become like a ball and it is coming to your hands. Okay. They become like two different balls, and just collect it all here, collect it in your palms, and just hold it tight. Okay, hold it really tight. And now pull it down, bring it down, 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 down. And now take it up, take it up, take it up, take it up, take it up. All the stress, all the tension, all the uneasy feeling, it's there in your fist. Take a deep breath in and throw it down. You breathe out and you throw down all your stress. All right, do it once again with me. Collect all the stress, all the remaining stress, all the remaining tension in your palms. Just imagine it. Put it here, put it here, put it here, put it here, put it here. Hold it tight, really hold it tight, and pull it down, pull it down, pull it down, pull it down, pull it down. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Take a deep breath in and throw it out. And throw away all the remaining stress and tension. So these were like simple energy yoga exercises that you all can practice anytime you feel uneasy, or just make it a part of your daily routine. It really relaxes you and calms you down. Any questions regarding this? I see a few actually.
Yeah, so Smita Verma asks whether there is a particular time to do these exercises to make it more effective.
No, there's no particular time. Whenever you're comfortable, it's absolutely on you how you want to include it in your day-to-day routine. Any other question? It's like a self-head massage, Sunita said. Yeah, it is like that. Comforting yourself instead of going anywhere else. And I have personally noticed that it gives a lot of relief when you have headaches, or sometimes when there's a constant thought going on and you're not able to stop yourself from thinking so much. So these exercises really help you out. Okay, so moving ahead, anything, Samrudhi?
Yeah, there's one more question, I believe.
Okay.
My kid does not breathe in and breathe out. Can we do this exercise? Can we still do this exercise?
Yeah, you all can still do it, because see, he's still breathing in and breathing out, right? If he's not able to breathe in till here and breathe out till here, you are still giving the pressure, and it's okay. Eventually they do understand. You have to model it in front of them that maybe he will not understand at the beginning, but slowly they do start imitating and they do pick it up. But if they're not doing it, then too, I think it's fine. If they are taking that pressure, if they're liking it, enjoying it, it will calm them down. They will feel better. So with our kids, I think we have to be flexible. There's no hard and fast कि ऐसे ही करना है या यही तरीका है. आप धीरे धीरे देखो कि वो बच्चा कैसे उसको अडाप्ट कर रहा है और कितना पिकअप कर रहा है और करना भी चाह रहा है कि नहीं, वो भी एक फैक्टर हो जाता है.
Yeah, and also for breathing, I think you can give your kid some concrete exercises where it involves him to blow in and out, like taking a paper and then putting some balls, thermocol balls, and ask him to blow. So these exercises done consistently, I think, will also ease him to practice breathe in and out. And I think, Sonal, these are very good exercises because a lot many times parents are looking for exercises when the child is angry to calm down strategies. So I think these exercises definitely will be very handy if practiced consistently.
Not just the children, I mean, I think we should apply it on ourselves,
Of course,
even
yeah.
if the kids are not doing it, because we need to remain calm at the first place in order to help our kids better, in order to even make them do, because that also becomes a task that now you have to teach them that, okay, pull the crown, breathe in, pull out. That's another task altogether. So before getting into that, I think let us just calm ourselves first,
Yeah.
and then get into action. Right?
So like monkey see, monkey do, right? If they see us consistently doing it to reduce our own stress, or when we're angry, they're definitely going to model us.
Yeah.
And there is Siddharth. So Siddharth is also a young adult, and he says that Sonal, this exercise was really useful for me. I think he did it with you, and
Yeah.
whatever stress I had reduced to some extent.
Wow,
So
that's
even
lovely
when
to know, Siddharth. Thank
I was
you.
doing it, you can, Sonal, feel it physically gone, especially the combing one and this one. So yeah, it feels relieving. Yeah.
It does. Great. Okay, so moving on with this. So we spoke about so many stress, and then I also shared few exercises. But how can we deal with stress, right? What should be the approach to deal with stress? So figure out a way that works to release stress. So you can either use these exercises or figure out a way for yourself. Maybe meditation, maybe yoga. Sometime during the day, I think you should give yourself to relax your body and mind completely. If you think the kind of stress that you're dealing with, you're not able to deal with it on your own, then use a clinically proven method to suppress emotion, to free suppress emotions from your system, and learn a method to let go the past. Let go the past is very important, because a lot of times stress happens because we are holding on to the past, and we are not able to look at the possibilities which are there for us when we move ahead. So this is what you can do. I use emotional freedom technique. As all of you know, I'm a certified practitioner, and I have always used EFT to deal with my stress, and it has helped me overcome stress. In general, too, EFT is known to help overcome stress, eliminate physical pain, some emotional pain, heal the past, defeat phobias. A lot of us have phobias, of insects, maybe of height. These kind of phobias are dealt with EFT, and we've seen some great results. Then heal the past trauma and accidents. So, like I was talking about, letting go or holding on to the past. So EFT is very effective in releasing the past also. If you're open to it, if you come and experience it, you will realize that a lot you are able to let go. Then food cravings. All of us, especially when I speak to my fellow mothers, who have kids with special needs, binge eating. The child is also binge eating. Before that, the mom is also binge eating all the time. Kuch hua nahi ki, we pick up something and like khate jao. So cravings also have an emotional cause. It comforts up, some sort of a void which we are not able to fulfill. So we think that, eating will fulfill that void and suppress that emotion. So cravings can also be taken care of if we use EFT. And breakthrough limits. A lot of people ask, what are breakthrough limits? So breakthrough limits is basically limiting beliefs. Now, what are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are like, as we grow up, we come across certain incidences in our life and we form certain beliefs. Examples of limiting belief would be, I cannot earn money, I'm not good enough, or I always become a victim whenever I want to progress in life. So these are all beliefs, and we form them because we've come across similar kind of incidences in our life again and again. And EFT even breaks those limits. It is found helpful to overcome those limits. So then you can there are certain things which you think you'll never be able to experience. You become open to experience those things. Correct? When you release those limiting beliefs.
Sonal, before we move forward, I want you to address Siddharth's question. He wants to understand the concept of suppressed emotions. If you could help him with an example.
Okay, suppressed emotions. Suppressed emotions is something that that I think I gave an example. Say, suppose you felt bad, or maybe you were in a party. Okay, there were 10 different people. You were in a party, and you felt that you were looking really nice. You were dressed up very well, but nobody noticed. Nobody noticed you, and you felt bad, and you did not even know where to go and tell that I felt bad because I was dressed well and nobody came and appreciated. Now, sometimes you even feel that if I go and say this, people might judge me. So we keep it to ourselves. We are feeling bad, but we are not expressing it. We are just keeping it to ourselves. Or sometimes on a day-to-day basis, you are going through a lot of stress. Maybe in the morning, a glass of milk fell down, then you had to change immediately, to go rush, to catch a local train, but you missed that too. Then you were late for a meeting, and series of these incidents kept happening. And although you kept going on, but that stress was there. At the end of the day, you feel tired and sad that the day was not very nice. But why was it not nice? Did you address that emotion? No. Maybe you did not, maybe you did. But then these kind of emotions, when they are not resolved, when they are kept inside, and we don't open it up also, we feel it's not important to speak about it, then those emotions are suppressed emotions. They are inside you. You don't address it, and you don't even know where to speak about it. Have I answered your question, Siddharth? Or is there anything else that you want me to explain? Or maybe I can go ahead and if he has anything, we can, yeah, correct?
So Siddharth, if you have any further, okay, I think he's responded.
All right. How to handle suppressed emotions. So EFT is one of the ways where you can. I'll give a short demo on EFT right now. And there could be different techniques too. We are speaking about EFT here. So let's see if that helps you. Okay. Okay. So I was talking about, yeah. So where has EFT proven to be useful? It is, people who deal with a lot of anxiety before exams, they found it useful. Sports people have found it useful. Their performances have gone better after using EFT. Physical pain, emotional distress, these can also be taken care of with the help of EFT. Reduction in depression, decrease in joint pains and muscle pains, reduction in phobias and fears, as I had mentioned before. So EFT is proven to be very, very effective in these areas. There is something called as PTSD, and this is a study on war veterans. They were divided into two groups, and those people who went through EFT, they took 6 sessions of EFT. They were 90% free from PTSD criteria. Those who did not go through, they were still holding on to. So I want to talk about PTSD a little here. PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. It happens when you experience a very big trauma, all right, and then you're not able to overcome it. And every time you face a similar situation, you end up feeling distressed. For instance, I have an example, like a cousin of mine, she called me a few months ago. She had a baby, I think a 1-year-old baby, who was sitting in the car behind, and she and her husband, they were sitting in the front seat, and they met an accident, and there was a lorry behind, and there were rods, steel rods in that lorry, and it went through the car. Luckily, nothing happened to anybody, but that was very traumatic for my cousin, and she was not able to leave her baby at all. She was working, and that time it was COVID, lockdown and stuff, so she was not going to work, but she couldn't bear the if the baby is out of sight, she couldn't bear it at all. She would go and run and see that where is he, and then she realized that she needs external help. She went and met a psychologist, and the psychologist told her that it's post-traumatic stress disorder. You are not able to forget that something could have gone wrong with the child, and that's why you're very anxious all the time. So every time he's out of sight, you feel that something might be wrong with him, and then you rush back to him. So this is one example. With parents who have kids on special needs, they are very susceptible to this, because on a day-to-day basis, they have to go through a lot of things over and over again, and that kind of stress, research has shown that that kind of stress is very similar to people who face stress at war front. All right, so parents who have special needs children, they are more prone to PTSD. For instance, I was reading somewhere that And the triggers of PTSD can be anything. It could be odor, it could be texture, it could be like how our kids they experience meltdowns. A particular odor might trigger them, and then they'll have a meltdown, or maybe a kind of sound, or maybe a kind of uneasy situation. So similarly, in for parents also, I was reading somewhere that anything, the kind of thing that they deal with over and over again, anything related to that, when it comes into picture, they get stressed out. Maybe it could be a smell, or maybe it could be anything. So PTSD is something where EFT has shown to be very, very useful. A lot of people are able to, overcome PTSD with the help of EFT. So, yeah, Samrudhi, you want to say something?
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, the parents going through stress when it's a particular odor or something. So, a lot of our parents do report that when they hear a call, when the child has gone to a regular school, and when they hear the phone
Yes,
calling,
phone call.
it's immediately like, oh my God, am I called now? Is there a problem? And the level of anxiety and stress is enormous that time.
Yeah. Okay. So moving ahead, EFT tapping improves multiple psychological markers of health. Yeah, it increases your immune system markers, it reduces blood pressure, it increases happiness, it reduces pain, anxiety, depression, and it actually EFT tapping, helps reduce cortisol levels in the body. Cortisol is a stress hormone. When the levels of cortisol become high, you experience things like blood pressure and all. So EFT tapping helps you reduce the cortisol levels in your body, and it helps you deal with stress in a much better way. Now, this is another exercise. It is called immune boosting. And this, I think all of us should just do it whenever we feel like, all right? So we have something called as the thymus, all right? There's an organ called thymus over here, which controls the immune system of our body, all right? And there's a slide, if you place your hand here, थोड़ा सा ऐसे हल्का सा उठा हुआ लगता है. That is the place where thymus is. So again, like we did the tantrum tapping, when we were doing the tantrum tapping, we were, tapping at the sides. For thymus tapping or the immune boosting, we tap on the center, right? We tap on the center, and we take out a general, we take out a R sound from our mouth, okay? And it feels as if, there's a thumping feeling. When you do that, you all can try it with me. Just make your fist and tap over here in the center of your chest, and this, this activates the thymus, and it increases the immune, it boosts your immune system. It gives a very good boosting. And if you do it daily, you're just boosting your immune. All right, so this was one more exercise. And now I will begin with how EFT works, all right? So there are 7 steps of EFT. After I explain you the 7 steps of EFT, we'll do demos, and then we can take more questions and answers. Are there any questions, by the way? Do one has to go to a counselor, or can directly approach EFT? I think Samrudhi, you can answer this.
Yeah, it all depends on the problem, the level of the problem. So, for instance, if you are experiencing symptoms of depression, and if it is clinical depression, you might need an assessment for it, and then you might also need medications, and then EFT will help you as a supportive therapy. So there is no one way to answer this. It all depends on the problem and the intensity of problem. And sometimes I believe if you contact the EFT therapist, and if the EFT therapist feels that she or he needs to work as a team with the counselor or a psychiatrist, I think they all can work together. So these supportive therapies do help along with EFT as an alternative supportive therapy, right? So if you need some other kind of help, you need to do it along with EFT.
Okay.
But EFT is based on the concept of modern day psychology. So along with the tapping, EFT does use a certain statements which are also used by the counselors. So, yeah.
Yeah. So for any kind of diagnosis and all, an EFT practitioner is not qualified to give a diagnosis unless the practitioner is a psychologist or a psychiatrist. But yeah, it will help you deal with a lot of emotional issues. You can directly go to a EFT practitioner, and then the practitioner, if the practitioner feels the need that you should consult a psychologist or a psychiatrist, then the way Samrudhi suggested that you can then get in touch.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we'll just focus on the 7 steps of EFT. So the first step is to identify the goal or issue. All right. What do I mean by identifying the goal or issue? So any problem that you have, maybe a headache, or maybe you're not feeling good enough, or maybe you're feeling sad. So we identify what is the problem that we want to address with EFT. All right. Then you give a measure to it. The second step is you give a measure to it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, you give it a measure where 1 would be like, I am not at all feeling bad. And 10 would be that I'm feeling really bad, really sad, really horrible, whatever the problem or the issue is. So you give it a number. The second is, you give a measure to it. Then the third is you start tapping on the side of the hand, which is called as the karate chop also. The side of your hand, which is right under your little finger. Okay, we begin tapping here. And we say the statement. We start by saying the statement that even though I have so and so issue at number so and so, I still love and accept myself. All right. So we repeat this statement 3 times that even though I have this issue at number so and so, I love and accept myself. Even though I have this issue at number so and so, I love and accept myself. Even though I have this issue, I still love and accept myself. So after this, we go on the tapping points. Now I'll first explain all the tapping points and then we'll go ahead. So the next tapping point after the karate chop point is the beginning of the eyebrow, right? Just where the eyebrow begins. Now you can tap on either side or on both sides, whichever is comfortable. The next point is where the temple is, where the eyebrow ends. All right. So this is the second point. Again, you can tap on one side or you can tap on both the sides. Then the next point is under your eye, which is slightly, when the bone that we have here, slightly towards the nose, right? So this is the third point. Again, again, you can use one hand, left side, right side, whichever, or both hands. And then under your nose, then under your chin. Actually, the point is here, right? But this will make it uneasy. So we just tap here on the chin. And anyway, each point covers this 1 palm distance. So it's okay if, even if that point becomes a bit here and there, it doesn't make much of a difference. Then the next point would be where we did the tantrum tapping, the dent under the collarbone. Okay. And the next point is under your arm. So you take 1 palm distance from under your arm and we tap here. So again, you can tap like this, or like this, or like this. Or even like this, some people prefer tapping like this. Next we do the fingers. So for that, you place your palm like this, where your thumb is facing towards the ceiling. And the edge of the nail, which is towards the ceiling, you tap on that edge. Okay. Then the index finger. Again, the edge of the nail, which is towards the ceiling. Then the middle finger. Then you skip the ring finger because the point is over here. The point is here and we might get a little confused, while we're tapping here, here, here. So we choose to skip this and we come on the little finger again on the edge of the nail, which is towards the ceiling. And then we come back to the karate chop. Okay, so when I was talking about the steps, I said that we form a statement at the beginning where we say that even though I have so and so issue at so and so number, I still choose to love and accept myself. We say that 3 times. After saying that, we tap on all the points, like I have this issue, I'm going through this issue, I'm facing this issue at number so and so, I'm facing this issue, I'm having this issue. We are basically just addressing the issue or the emotion that we are dealing with because of that problem. So I have this issue, I have this issue, I'm facing this issue, I'm dealing with this issue. Even though, then we come back here on the karate chop and we say, even though I have this issue, I still choose to love and accept myself. Okay. After this, we take a deep breath in through our nose and breathe out through our mouth. And take a sip of water. So this is how we complete one cycle of EFT. And after you've done one cycle, you can again measure your, see where your issue is. Are you still having it? Has it gone better? Has it become worse? At what number it is? And then repeat the process again. Okay. So I'll now give a short demo, so that you get a feel of it, that how actually it works. And I'll ask you certain questions and you can put them on chat, not on question answers, but on the chat. Okay, can EFT practiced even if we are not stressed or just well-being? What should be uttered during the session? Komal, EFT can be practiced when you're not stressed, but with positive affirmations, you can do it. And it's always suggested that you go to a practitioner and then do it, because a lot of times you will not know how to go ahead, even if I tell you certain things, and it happens very organically during the session. So if, because your emotions change once you tap, and then how to go ahead with it. So it's always recommended that you experience it with a practitioner first, and then you can do it, you can make it a part of your daily routine. But again, with the guidance, you speak to somebody who's certified, and then you can understand better how to go ahead with it.
Also, to answer Komal's question, Komal, I think what a lot of parents do experience is they just start with any random statement, and when they can't even identify any particular stressor, but as you proceed with the affirmatives and as you proceed with the tapping, you realize how much stress is really there, and one thing leads to another. So it also, as Sonal mentioned, it also leads you to discover your suppressed emotions. Right, Sonal?
Yeah, and what she said, can it practice even if you're not stressed? So we can do it with affirmations. But I think it's when you're doing EFT, like Samrudhi mentioned, that you first, there's a lot of release when you start tapping. And sometimes, it becomes even bigger. So you should first consult somebody who's certified, address those emotions, and then maybe you can make it a part of your daily routine. Okay. Right. So yeah, now Samrudhi, I want you to stay because we will do a demo. So what we're going to do is called as the constructive breathing exercise. Okay. So I just want everybody to breathe in and breathe out, and just get a sense that how is their breathing. Is it free flowing? Is it constricted? Are you breathing from your stomach or right above from your stomach? Are you breathing from your chest or your throat? How is it? And I want inputs, like I want it from everybody on the chat. Maybe they can put it that,
if you could please put it on the comments section, that is the chat section. It'll be easy for us to then, address the questions separately. So please put the comments on the chat section.
So we will wait for some time.
So if you have any questions for them, can you repeat it so that
Somebody
Can you
mentioned
repeat the
chat is
question?
disabled for me. Can you repeat the question? So what I'm asking is that, we are going to do a short demo right now, and you can take a deep breath in through your nose and just see how your breathing is. Is it free flowing? Is it constricted? Are you finding any kind of difficulty in breathing? And where are you breathing from? Are you breathing from your stomach or your chest or your throat? Just anything that, anything that you feel while breathing, you can. She mentioned, Shraddha's mentioning that the chat is disabled. So you can even put it here in question answer if you want to. Okay, everybody's saying chat is disabled. Breathing is from upper chest. Okay. And yeah, actually, I want some more inputs. And also, if it is from upper chest, then how is it? Is it free flowing? Is it constricted? Is it, short breathing? How is it? I'm breathing from navel. Okay.
Upper
Breathing
chest.
west.
So Apali says it's from the upper chest. And Riddhi says I'm breathing from the navel.
Okay. Long breathing. How is yours, Samrudhi?
Mine is from the chest. And it's a little constricted. It's not completely free flowing.
Okay. So we'll just wait for some more inputs and then, yeah, upper chest, not so long breathing. Okay. Should we wait or should I start?
I think you start.
Okay. To start breathing, need a little effort. Great. Okay. So this is enough, I think. So yeah, let us all, just give me 1 second. Right. So let us all begin. Samrudhi, I want you to repeat after me, okay? And you said that you're breathing from your upper chest, and it is slightly constricted, okay?
Right.
So I want all of you to start tapping along with me, and all of you all are muted. You all can repeat the statements that I'm saying. Even some of the statements might not sound familiar to you, or you might not resonate with it, but you can still tap. You will see a change. You will feel some kind of change after doing this. So even though when I breathe, I breathe from my upper chest,
I breathe from my upper chest,
and I feel some kind of a constriction in breathing.
and I feel some kind of constriction in breathing.
I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Even though I might be breathing from my navel,
I might be breathing from my navel
or upper chest, but it is not so long breathing.
But it is not so long breathing.
I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Even though
I
need a little effort to complete my breath, I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Constriction in breathing, effort while completing my breath, not so long breathing, breathing from my upper chest, not so long breathing. I need to put an effort to breathe. My breathing is slightly constricted. It is from the upper chest. And it's not very free flowing. It is slightly constricted. And I find it difficult to complete my breath. Even though my breathing is slightly constricted. And I feel I need to take effort to breathe in.
and I feel I need to take effort in breathing.
I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Now take a deep breath from your nose, everybody, and breathe out with a ha sound. Ah. And I want everybody to take a sip of water. And now I want you to share, is there any change? Are you feeling better? Are you feeling worse? Or are you feeling just the same? How are you feeling, Samrudhi?
There's no much change, but I'm feeling kind of calm and relaxed. So it's not like it's got worse, or it's not like, I cannot see a significant change, but somehow, yeah, it's sort of relaxing.
Okay. So I was feeling more breathless while repeating everything and tapping. Same, it felt good. Must a little effort while taking initiate a new breath is gone. My breath is the same, long, free flowing breath from navel. Okay, so see, there are three things that can happen after we tap. One is that you will start feeling better, which is great. Another is you will feel no change at all. Okay, which is also fine. And the third is that you might start feeling even worse, which is even better. So why even better? Because something has got addressed that needs to come out, and that's why you started feeling worse. Okay, something got triggered, the words that we use, something got triggered, and then it started making you feeling worse. So that needs to be addressed. And if you're feeling the same, then there is something specific that needs to be addressed, which was not addressed, and that's why the feeling remained the same. And generally, with such a simple exercise, you will tend to feel better because these points, they relax your muscles, it relaxes you emotionally, so you
Right.
do feel better. So whichever is the case, it is absolutely fine. So if if you all have shared, I wanted to know what is remaining, if it is better, or even if it was worse, then what is remaining now.
But Latika says it felt good.
Hmm.
Apari says, must tell me, little effort I was taking to initiate a new breath is gone. Okay. Uh, Riddhi says, my breath is same, long free flow breathing from navel.
Mhm. So yeah, so if now I have to, ask you that what is remaining? If um, so for Riddhi, I think it is good. It was good before and even now. But if there is some sort of a discomfort still remaining, then what is it? If you all can share that. And how would you want your breath to be actually? How would you want to breathe? I don't see any comments.
Yeah. So what Sonal is trying to ask is, how do you want your breath to be? If it is in a certain way, how differently you want it to be? Anybody wants to answer?
So okay, so actually I can, we can close it, right? We can just
Yeah.
do another round and free flowing, right? Somebody mentioned free flowing.
Yeah, Hemlata says free flowing.
Okay. So yeah, so even though
Even though
I was finding slight difficulties in breathing,
I was finding slight difficulties in breathing,
but it's better now.
but it's better now.
I might still feel some difficulty,
I might still feel some difficulties,
but I'm open to the possibility
but I'm open to the possibility
of breathing in freely.
of breathing in freely.
Yeah. Long, free flowing breathing,
Long, free flowing breathing.
less effort in taking a breath in,
Less effort in taking a breath.
Choosing to feel relaxed while breathing.
Choosing to feel relaxed while breathing.
Breathing should be easy and comfortable.
Breathing should be easy and comfortable.
I feel so easy while breathing.
I feel so easy while breathing.
I find myself very comfortable while breathing.
I find myself very comfortable while breathing.
The effort of breathing is just gone.
The effort of breathing has just gone.
I choose to feel relaxed.
I choose to feel relaxed.
I'm so grateful that I can breathe freely.
I'm so grateful that I can breathe freely.
I'm so grateful that my breath is long and free flowing.
I'm so grateful that my breath is long and free flowing.
I'm so grateful that I'm easily able to breathe in.
I'm so grateful that I'm easily able to breathe free flowing.
Even though
I
was finding certain difficulties while breathing,
I was finding certain difficulties while breathing,
but I feel comfortable in breathing now.
but I feel comfortable breathing now.
And I still choose to love and accept myself.
And I still choose to love and accept myself.
Breathe in and breathe out. Yeah, how is it now? Take a sip of water.
Better. It's better.
Please share in chat. How is it? How do you feel now? Is there any change?
Breathing should be easy and okay. Both hands should be covered or anyone. Sunita asks, should both hands be covered or anyone while tapping?
No, anyone, right? On the face, we tap on both sides, but again, there's no compulsion. You can do it on any side, any hand, whichever hand is. You can even, tap like this, the karate chop. And there is one more point that I forgot to mention, which is the point at the top of your head. And we generally use this to point when we release the negative emotion or the stressful emotion, and when we are repeating the positive affirmations. Like when I said, "Nah, I'm grateful that I'm able to breathe freely," then I missed out on doing this, but we can tap here so that it integrates, right? And there is one more point. This is called as the 9 gamut point, which is right here. The last 2 knuckles over here. There's a slight dent. So we hold on to this, and after tapping, you can hold on to this. This helps in releasing a memory cell, which is not good. So after you've tapped on something which is unpleasant, you can just hold this over here and breathe in and breathe out, equal breathing. Yeah. Breathe in and breathe out. So this point helps in releasing any kind of negative memory cell, right? So yeah, so this was, I really want to know how did you all feel after this? And I can actually take somebody for a demo now.
Yeah. So, well, mine was better with the second thing. Like I could see the difference because when I did it for the first time, there was a certain sound and it was constricted. But when I did it for the second time, it was much free flowing.
Yeah, so imagine if this was general statements, and when you do a customized session, then what all will you release?
Right. So I think there's Hemlata who wants to be there for the demo session.
So Hemlata, can you open turn your video on and unmute?
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Hi. So
yeah, it taps the nerves and it opens the whatever blockage is there now. So it helps to relax mainly. EFT. So
So,
both the things which we did, it really helps. Like,
so yeah, so tapping emotional freedom technique is a combination of clinical psychology and acupressure meridian points. And these meridian points, they relax your body system. They make you more vulnerable and open, and you release a lot. And simultaneously, when you speak about your issues, you tend to release, release a lot of suppressed emotions, a lot of past beliefs and memories while doing this. Okay.
great
So
job.
I want you to share now. Is there any issue that you would want to, work on right now?
Yeah, I've got a pain in my upper back.
Upper
Upper
back.
back.
Okay. And so, what number would you give it? On a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is like you're not able to bear it at all, and 1 would be like, I'm fine, I don't feel the pain. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is your pain?
5.
5. And how does it feel when you have that pain? How does it feel?
Uncomfortable with it.
Uncomfortable. So you said it's upper back 5 and uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So you can repeat after me and tap along with me. And even if Hemlata's issue is not as others, you all can still tap along with us, because this is something called as borrowing benefits. When we do it together, all of us borrow something out of it. Okay, so let's do it. Even though I have a pain in my upper back
I have a pain in my upper back
at number 5,
at number 5,
and it feels uncomfortable,
and it feels uncomfortable,
I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Even though I feel uncomfortable because of this upper back pain,
because of the upper back pain,
which is at number 5,
which is at number 5,
I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Even though
I
have a pain in my upper back,
have a pain in my upper back,
and it's at number 5,
and it's at number 5,
and it makes me very uncomfortable,
and it makes me really uncomfortable,
I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Even though
I
I have this pain in my upper back,
have this pain in my upper back,
this pain at number 5,
this pain at number 5,
this pain makes me uncomfortable.
this pain makes me uncomfortable.
The pain in my upper back,
The pain in my upper back,
the pain is at number 5,
the pain is at number 5,
and the pain makes me uncomfortable.
and the pain makes me uncomfortable.
The pain in my upper back makes me uncomfortable.
The pain in my back makes me uncomfortable.
This pain in my upper back,
The pain in my upper back
this uncomfortable pain in my upper back,
is an uncomfortable pain in my upper back.
the uncomfortable feeling is at number 5.
The uncomfortable feeling is at number 5.
The pain makes me uncomfortable.
The pain makes me uncomfortable.
Even though
I
feel uncomfortable because I have this pain in my upper back,
because I have this pain in my upper back,
I still love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself lovingly.
Anyway, I still love myself anyway. Okay, breathe in and breathe out and take a sip of water. How is it now? Is there any change?
Yeah, a little bit feeling relaxed.
Okay.
Yeah, because these pimples on your, like these meridians on your face, no? Like, actually, like it helps you to relax when it is being tapped.
So what number would you give it now?
4.
4. And how does it feel now? Still uncomfortable?
Yeah, little bit still uncomfortable because it's still at 4. Like
Yeah. So what got better?
Pardon?
What got better? Like, from 5 it came to 4. So what happened? The pain reduced, or what happened?
The pain has reduced a bit.
Okay. So we'll do another round. Okay. So even though I had a pain in my upper back,
I had a pain in my upper back,
which was at number 5,
which was at number 5,
but it is at number 4 now.
but it is at number 4 now.
The pain has reduced,
The pain has reduced,
but I still feel uncomfortable.
but I still feel uncomfortable.
I still love and accept myself.
Still love and accept myself.
Even though
I
have this pain,
I have this pain,
and it is still making me uncomfortable.
it is still making me uncomfortable.
The pain in my upper back.
The pain in my upper back.
It got a little better.
It got a little better,
but I still have the pain.
But I still have the pain.
I still feel uneasy.
I still feel uneasy.
What if I could just release this pain away right now?
What if I could relieve away this pain right now?
What if I could just feel comfortable in myself?
What if I could feel just comfortable with myself?
What if this pain has stopped bothering me at all?
What if this pain stops bothering me at all?
This pain in my upper back.
This pain in my upper back.
Which makes me so uncomfortable.
Which makes me so uncomfortable.
The pain in my upper back.
The pain in my upper back.
Even though
I
have this pain, I'm open to the possibility of releasing it forever. And I choose to love and accept myself. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. How is it now? Take a sip of water, yeah, and tell me how do you feel.
A bit more comfortable, but now I think so it triggered my acidity. Now I'm getting worse with it.
So that happens, it moves, the pain moves, which is the proof that EFT is working. Okay. So I hope it's not very bad, is it?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
Okay, so this was just like a demo, I just wanted to show how it works.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you, Hingata. So yeah, right, so that was about EFT, and if I continue with the presentation. So we discussed the 7 steps of EFT. Basically what happens is, when we come across stress, a lot of energy gets disturbed in our body. We form a lot of beliefs and a lot of blockages in meridian points. And it causes physical and mental stress when we tap on the meridian points using certain specific words of our issue. As shown in the image, the energy starts flowing in the body. It gets better and you feel a sense of relief after that. Moving on. So these are some of the areas where EFT has been found really very effective. People who deal with anxiety, somebody who's had an accident and the trauma because of it, then boredom, claustrophobia, depression, grief, guilt, headache, insomnia, and a lot of other things which are mentioned here. EFT has proved really, really helpful in these areas to deal with the emotional trauma that happens because of such incidences. Y'all can go through this and basically, yeah. So this is my Facebook ID, Sakhya4321. On the Instagram also I use the same handle, and I've also mentioned my WhatsApp number. So if anybody feels the need to get in touch with me, y'all can either get in touch with me through Facebook or Instagram or even through WhatsApp. And now I'm open for questions. I'll stop the share And any kind of questions, I am open to, answer those questions now.
That was a wonderful demo, Sonal and Hemlata. And Hemlata, thank you for volunteering for it. Yeah, so let's take the questions now. So someone asks, how do we control binge eating?
So so if you're asking in terms of EFT, then we basically try to figure out, which is the emotion that you're trying to suppress by eating. So when you binge eating, there is a specific emotion, even when you're not hungry and you want to eat, that is emotional eating. So there is some emotion that you're trying to fill in. And when you go to a practitioner to understand how to control my binge eating, then we try to figure out which emotion is getting, which emotion you're trying to suppress. And then we work on that emotion. And generally it comes from past memory that, either you are trying to experience, for instance, I'll give you my example. Like I was given a 5-star chocolate and I was asked that, how do you feel after smelling it? So I said, it feels wonderful. I just go back to my childhood days and, the vacations at my grandparents' place. And so the next question was asked that, why, what happened, when you used to go to your grandparents' place? I said, that was a lot of fun, a lot of, relaxed time and a lot of enjoyment. She's like, now do you feel enjoyment in your life? I said, no. And that's the reason I kept eating it, because I wanted to experience that. And that chocolate, was associated with the memory of having fun and enjoyment and relaxation. So this is how we work on binge eating. It is generally associated with the memory. And we try to suppress some emotion or we try to feel some emotions. Something, some sort of pleasure you get after eating certain substances. So that pleasure you want to experience because you're not able to experience it otherwise. So you try to eat and you try to, suppress that emotion. So that is how you work on binge eating.
Yeah. So there's another question. How Sapna asks, how to get out of bad memories?
How to get out of bad memory? So yeah, you can actually connect for personal sessions. We can see if you're not able to deal with it at all, then you should take professional help. Of course, you can try EFT. You can also, there are a lot of other modalities or practices which are also available, but EFT has been found very effective. Again, we try to understand what the past memory is, what kind of trauma did you go through, and why are you not able to forget it, and then we basically see, when I did the demo, I simply addressed that emotion. When we hold on to a bad memory, we don't allow ourselves to experience it. We try to suppress that particular emotion. That no, I'm not supposed to feel it. I'm not supposed to feel it. Or you're too scared to address it. All right. So during EFT, we address that particular emotion. And when the emotion is addressed, then you're in a better position to release it. कि हो गया, ठीक है, मैंने बुरा फील किया, कर लिया बुरा फील, अभी let us focus on something else. So that is how EFT is helpful, when we work on past memories or unpleasant memories.
Right. So basically, when one has not completed the grief process and is a lot into denial, so that's very, that's when I think a lot of these statements of EFT will help them. See, Sonal won't be able to take very specific questions because for every problem, there will be like what Hemlata presented was like a physical problem, right? For emotional problems which are deep rooted, there are a lot of other added techniques which EFT uses. So there's another question. A parent asks, when I use a loud tone of voice, it works better to get the attention of my child. But my child has associated fear to it. So how do I really improve building the bond with my child?
So So I think, for this question, why, every time, when we talk about the issues with the child and the parent and the child, and, if there is some communication kind of thing, we always ask the parent to address their issues first. So what is the emotion that is, revolving around their using the loud tone? How do they feel about it? First, we address that. Then, once the parent comes to a neutral space, that, whether it is okay for me or not to, use this technique. And if it is okay, then where is the child finding a difficulty? And if the child is facing some emotional issue, then we can address that. Or if the child needs some other method, this is probably working, but it is not the best way to do it, then which is another productive way of, addressing this issue. You can always get in touch with a therapist in such a case to find out what could be the better way or method to communicate it to your child if the child is associating fear with the loud noise. Correct? And yeah, I think that should be the approach.
Yeah, so there are some questions which Apali asked. So she wants to know EFT pertaining to the kids. So she wants to know whether, because you mentioned that you do surrogate tapping with your child on the spectrum. So do you practice it with your kids, and what are the changes that you have seen on a daily basis, especially the one on the spectrum? And can we motivate the kids to take up difficult tasks with EFT?
So it depends on the child, actually. Do you practice with your kids? I do. I mean, if I get to know that he's angry, then I say the statements. Now he still doesn't speak. He still doesn't have the language. So I use the statements for it. Like I make it very simple for him. I do go like angry. I'm still a good boy, because love and acceptance is too much for the kids. It's for us to understand, but for them, it's like, I'm a good boy. That's more than enough, right? That's what they want. Mama loves me, Papa loves me. So I'm angry. I'm still a good boy. I'm so angry. I'm still a good boy. I'm really angry. I'm a good boy. Angry, angry, angry. So this is how I do it. I sometimes see that, he calms down. I sometimes see that the anger goes even beyond. When the anger is going beyond, then I use other calming techniques, which all of us know as parents, how to handle a meltdown or something like that. With the regular child of mine, I use a lot of EFT with him. A lot of times, kids are not able to articulate the emotions that they feel. And while using EFT, they start speaking, especially if the child is verbal, they start talking. Whatever it is inside, they will start saying that, this happened, I felt so, and aisa hua. So it depends. It depends on the child. If the child can communicate or not. If the child cannot communicate and understand, then we can use it for very simple emotions like fear, and then the child should be able to understand that emotion, right? Now, if you think that the child is not even understanding, is not even communicating, then there is a third method which is called as surrogate tapping, where we tap on the parent. So basically, the parent gets into the shoes of the child. And then, the parent tries to understand what the child is going through. And then the parent gets a better sense of that, okay, I was trying to communicate this and the child was not cooperating because maybe the child is feeling so. And a lot of times, when the parent steps into the shoes of the child and starts answering from the child point of view, the parent knows, when you're a caregiver, you know what the child is going through. It's only because we are overloaded with so many things that, we tend to ignore those things. But when you sit and tap, you will understand that, okay, yeah, probably, I am pushing my child too much over here, or I'm probably not supporting my child, enough the way the child needs, not the way I feel. So then that, and I have tried these methods on myself, and I have seen changes in me first. And then I have seen a behavioral change in the child as well. Yeah.
So in surrogate tapping, you tap on yourself and say the statement.
So like, if you want to address some issue of your child,
okay,
I would ask you to, imagine that you are him and answer from his point of view. And then you tap on yourself and we think of him.
Right.
That's what works. Yeah.
But in surrogate tapping, so it helps you to understand, but it does not help the child here, right? Or is it
Now it
also
depends. There are some parents who say that, we saw the changes in the child too.
okay?
And there could be lot of explanation to it. One very basic thing is that, as a parent, when you understand, what the challenge is, and you automatically change your approach, the child automatically molds
Absolutely.
himself or herself, and cooperates with you better. That this is what I wanted from mommy, and now she's doing it. So that's how it works. And
Right.
there are other arguments too, like it is energy work. You are stepping into the energy of the child, and then the child also starts feeling better. So those things also people share, but you definitely you get a better understanding of what is going on. Yeah.
Right. Right. There's another parent. She says, my child, I'm having difficulty handling stress and stubborn behavior.
Sorry, come again. I'm having
difficulties handling stress and stubborn behavior. It's not clear, but I think she is probably addressing it to the child.
So again, I think, we would first address the parents' anxiety around it.
Right.
That, if the child is stubborn, or I'm not able to control my child, or I'm not able to teach my child, then, what is the emotion that the parent is facing? How is it bothering the parent first? That, if I am not able to make my child do so and so, then how does it bother the parent? And when the
Right.
parent addresses the emotion that the parent is going through and comes to a neutral space, then we look at the child, that what exactly the issue is.
Right.
So if child is open, and child is young, we can and ready for EFT, we can do it. If not, then we can try surrogate.
Right. So our children, parents are very much connected to our emotions. So they absorb our anxieties. So hence, as we said earlier, the focus has to be a lot on also, along with our children, also working on our mental health. Because if we are going to be in a better frame of mind, taking care of ourselves, we will be in a much better position to provide for our children also and understand their needs. My child is too young and learning new things every day. How do I relate his emotions to his stress, and how can he approach me?
How can I relate his emotions?
Yeah, how do I relate his emotions to his stress? So she wants to know how can she understand what anxiety he is going through, which gives him stress, and how he can communicate it with her.
So how he can communicate with her, I think.
Yeah, so that's altogether another, communication is another area.
Correct. There are different ways in which we teach our kids how to communicate emotions and things like that. As far as she trying to understand what the child is going through, if she's asking in terms of EFT, then the surrogate tapping that I mentioned, you always try surrogate tapping first, address your emotions, then do the surrogate tapping and understand what the child is going through. Also, when you mentioned, that our children, they sense our anxiety. I think, kids copy. They simply copy, all right? So they even copy the way you react to a particular situation. So when you are in a stressed, something happened unpleasant, and they see you getting worked up, they see you getting anxious, they will do the exact thing. So they copy your emotions too, like, oh, she got anxious, so this is the way you're supposed to do, so even I'll get anxious.
That's
Oh,
true.
she was feeling uneasy, so she started feeling all of that. And kids, they observe at a very high level. We cannot even imagine, our observations are not so clear and crisp as theirs. So I think more than sensing, it's also about, imitation that comes naturally to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, I need some do's and don'ts with uh, in notes, if possible, to review and recollect.
I need some
I,
do's and
I think the parent wants to know the do's and don'ts that she should probably bear in mind. So, are you going to any sort of like share
for
any tips?
EFT.
Yeah, on EFT or whatever presentation, whatever tips you have shared in the presentation, or maybe the energy
So
you've
see
got.
the only thing with
Uh,
yeah.
so what I can say is this recording is going to be circulated, right? So I think you all can always go through it, and also the energy yoga exercises and also the tapping points that Sonal has shared. So the recording will help you to
Yeah.
sort.
Also, I don't think you should push it on the child if the child doesn't want to do it.
Hmm.
And then maybe you can eventually these practices also, today we share it because we want the parents to do it first on themselves and address their state, mental state, mental health before trying it on the child, because it's a very obvious thing, for us it's like कि क्या कर लें कि हमारा बच्चा सुधर जाए, क्या कर लें कि उसको बेनिफिट हो जाए, लेकिन उसको करने से पहले हम अपने आप को बेनिफिट कर लें तो हम बहुत स्ट्रांग बन जाएंगे. For a simple example, it's used everywhere. In an airplane they say, when the oxygen mask falls, you first put it for yourself so that you are able to breathe properly. Only then will you be in a position to help your child too.
Absolutely.
So empower yourself first, make yourself better and stronger, and then you will automatically know what suits my child, what is not good for my child. My child is comfortable here and not so comfortable here.
Okay, so a parent wants to know um, how will this method help my child to work on his anxiety issues and to build his confidence?
So yeah, again
Yeah.
depends on the child, how old the child is. If the child is really young, then I would say, the parent addresses the anxiety and confidence issues first.
Hmm.
And then the parent will be in a position to,
Right.
encourage the child as much as possible. And the child is grown up, can communicate, is open for sessions, then yeah, this method definitely helps you in boosting your confidence and addressing anxiety.
Right. And see, if we are going to help, be in a position to help the child, if we are going to be less anxious and confident about what we are doing, believing in what we're doing and believing in our children. So they say that if you make the child feel that you believe in him or her, he will believe in him or herself. So
Right.
what we're trying to even put forward with this webinar is, besides we have a lot of webinars for children, we do share a lot of strategies how to work with children in different areas. But this particularly is the one where we do pay attention as parents or caregivers and our mental health. Uh, okay, so again, the question was, please tell me the emotion wise tapping point. Okay, so I think here the parent wants to know if there are certain kind of techniques or points for a particular emotion. Like,
So
I
not in EFT. I mean, see, these are acupressure points. Yeah, certain points do refer to certain organs, but you can address any emotion with this. There's no particular point for a particular emotion. If you want to know something which is, something that to deal with a particular emotion and not talk so much about it, basically, right? So there is another method. So it's a very quick method, and it's in your fingers. It's a Japanese technique called as Jinshin Jitsu. All right. So we have our 5 fingers, and each finger represents an emotion. Okay. So the way I remember it is, see, so the thumb represents anxiety. And how do you remember it? is, kids who are anxious, they suck their thumb. So this is how I remember it. All right. And then the four fingers. So then I remember it as FAST, fast, where F is fear. Your index finger is your fear. A is anger, which is your middle finger. S is sadness, which is your ring finger. And T is trying too hard, okay, which is the little finger. So, you can hold, if any particular emotion gets triggered, suppose you're angry, you're not able to manage yourself, you can just hold the middle finger, hold it for some time, feel the pulse, hold it. Just breathe in, breathe out, and hold it. You will see after some time, that emotion sort of diffuses. So this is a different method altogether. This is not EFT, but if you want to know a specific point to address a specific emotion, then this is one of those techniques, which is also very, very easy. And in fact, if you're going for a seminar presentation and you're feeling anxious, you can just hold all your fingers for 1 minute each, feel the pulse. You'll feel very grounded after doing this. So this is one thing that you can do. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Sonal. Yeah, so parent, when we work on EFT, we work on certain acupressure meridian points, as Sonal said, and then we acknowledge that particular emotion to answer your question in a different way. So if you want to address on a particular emotion like a fear or about a particular event or a thing, so then the EFT practitioner helps you to work with the meridian points. And again, as she was working with Hemlata, your statements will be depending upon what your problem is. And then I believe, Sonal, there will be many other techniques, right, that you use along with the ones you've just shown in the demo, right?
Yeah, so those become customized when we do
Yes.
sessions and
Yes. So basically, EFT helps you to discover whatever emotions which you have not identified on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of, as Sonal mentioned earlier, a lot of conditioning that we put ourselves into to believe certain things, and again, emotions are attached accordingly. So, like for instance, it socially, I believe that I should be a mother who should be in control with every success or failure of my child. So I will experience a lot of anxiety the minute I see that my child is not doing well. So EFT will help me to work on this particular emotion. So I think there are our parents. Are there any more questions, or should we call it a day?
there was one question: can we motivate kids to take up difficult tasks with EFT?
I think you addressed it, right? So,
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Any other questions? Anything?
does anybody want to share any experience? You can raise your hand, and if you want to verbally express anything, you could always allow that. I think that's it for now. And it was a pleasure to have you amongst us, Sonal.
It was a
And thank
pleasure
you
for me.
thank you for sharing all the wonderful information and making it so interactive and using the energy yogas and the demo session to make it more effective. So thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Samrudhi. Thank you to FFA for having me. I feel really good. Thank you so much.
So, and thank you to all my wonderful participants for asking questions and for being there apart for your busy schedules. So thank you, everyone.
Mm.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.